Good afternoon. This is Dr. Waldron, and hope you guys are doing well out there. Today we're putting together a healthy cocktail hour, although it may not be an hour, but we're going to put some things together here I think that will really be relevant to all of us in our community, for that matter in our country right now, with everything that's going on with the pandemic and the issues that people are having, especially the stress and strain on a day-to-day basis. So today I'm going to start out with actually putting together a healthy cocktail, no alcohol, but as just some good fresh fruits that we combine and some different protein sources that we can recommend of just making a healthy smoothie, something you can do at home. For a lot of you that are home with your kids right now, this would be something fun to do. It's healthy. Experiment a little bit. You know, I see so many parents that are still dealing with kids drinking sodas and unfortunately taking things in that they shouldn't be as far as health goes. And today's session is going to be a lot about health, what we can do to take the offensive on being healthier and staying well, especially during such an extreme time as a pandemic, and actually being involved in this and really taking the offensive to be as healthy and strong as we can. So I'm going to start out with a healthy cocktail, or what I'm referencing today. You know, what I'm putting together are just some components in here. We've got some yogurt that we put in the recipe. We're also going to put some carrots, so you got something there really healthy. We're going to combine. We also have fresh from Florida oranges. And of course, our local orange industry, you know, is really hopping right now, especially with all the OJ that people are drinking, trying to help build their immunity as far as that goes. We have chia seeds, which is a great source of fiber. We also have cinnamon that we're putting in this. And I'm not giving you the details, but the recipe will follow, and you'll be able to get the recipe there. Also ginger, which I love the taste of, but you do not have to put that in if you do not like that. Also some vanilla. And I'm not sure how this will go, but if it does. And that is some coconut oil. So that is the combination of components. Now the thing is with this, you can do, and what I like to do is add a scoop of protein. So you balance your carbs and your proteins, just healthier as far as your blood sugar levels go there. There's also some other things you can do, and think about this with a smoothie. The nice part about a smoothie, about building health and trying to do the right things for you and your family, is that you can take a smoothie like that, you can put some greens in, you can put a handful of spinach in there. We also carry a kids product, and today I'm talking a little bit more about kids and immunity, and a kids multivitamin. There's very hard to beat this product. We've recommended it here in this office for several years. You can take an ounce and you can put that in the smoothie, and you're really going to give your kids a great deal of vitamins and minerals and enzymes and just healthy components to build that kid's immunity, to build their overall health and well-being, especially if you're letting these kids drink so much of the sugar-based products that so many of them are drinking today. I just see that such an unfortunate scenario with kids that are drinking 15, 20 ounces of sodas, sometimes doing that 2 or 3 times a day. It is absolutely devastating for their health. So I'm going to take here's the products. I'm going to hand these off to Shannon, and she is going to oh, I've got one last thing I got to put in there, guys. I forgot the orange juice. I put the oranges in, but I got to put the orange juice in. So I've got the OJ. And you know what? If you can do it fresh, that is awesome. So that's the last part of that, the recipe. I'm going to hand that off to Shannon. We use Natalie's orange juice. You guys may be familiar with that, and she's not paying me for this, but I'm just telling you, I love that OJ. I'll have a small portion in the mornings, and I usually will have it with a handful of blueberries or strawberries as a routine, because I want to slow those sugars down. Honestly, I like the smoothies where I can actually put some protein in and really balance the carbohydrates and proteins so you don't have such an impact on your blood sugar. So that's our healthy cocktail that we're getting put together, going to spin down, and we'll have a little drink or a sip of that a little bit later here. But today, the purpose I'm doing with this as a healthcare provider at this time, the scenario that we're dealing with in this country and this world of ours, is with this pandemic. And I think what I see so many patients is talking about the fear of what's going on, and I respect that 100%. In our office, we are following all the guidelines of the CDC. We are trying to do everything we can to make sure that we wipe down handles and tables and countertops and floors after every patient is here. So we're doing our part as a provider of healthcare for patients to be able to come into a safe environment. And we want to be able to have that and be able to provide. We were very busy this week. We were very busy last week. A lot of patients, everything from car accidents to patients with bad necks and low backs, and patients just with general health issues. Of course, most of the patients that deal with flu-like symptoms are seeing their medical doctors, our colleagues that are helping them with that. So we know there's a lot of stress and strain out there with nurses. I've seen quite a few nurses and different ones in the office that are also on some of the front lines out there. So my goal today is that I think we have created a great defense in regards to what the CDC recommends in regards to wiping things down, using soap and water. Let me tell you about a story of a lady that was in my office just this past week. She told me about her grandmother that back in 1918, who had 10 children, that the most important thing that her grandmother conveyed to her as a young girl was the fact of using soap and water and washing and keeping clean. She said that her grandmother had 10 children, and all 10 of those children survived the flu of 1918. And if you're not familiar with the flu of 1918, I really recommend go online, pull it up, and read a little bit about it. And a lot of what went on then is what's going on now. Even then, there was over 500,000 people who died in the United States from that pandemic. There were 20 million people in the United States that died in the flu of 1918. Just a lot of interesting history of what went on then without all the media and without all the over information that we get. And when you listen to that, it creates a fear to some degree. I think it's also, we analyze it, we break it down in our own minds. What do we need to do? Some people wear masks. Some people are not wearing masks. Some people will wipe things down much more consistent. Others will do less. Some will use soap and water. There's a variation of what we process, but at the same time, it's almost a fight or flight mechanism. We are stressed. I see patients this past week that were very stressed with all the information out there. So I'm not here to convey and change in anything, any way, what the CDC is recommending, but what I am recommending is that we build on our health, that we take an offensive stance and do the things that really come down to a quality diet. Are we eating a quality diet? Listen, I know there's issues at the grocery stores, and there are things being done right now in regards to a lot of variations of the foods coming from the farmers. We need to get those into the grocery stores, and people need to be able to have that availability. But when you go there, make good choices. This is your health and your well-being. If you're going to the grocery store and buying processed foods, you are not helping yourself out. And I'll tell you, I'm going to discuss this a little bit more in detail, is just our society before this pandemic came along is dealing with a very big epidemic called obesity. And obesity is huge, and what it does to affect the body, over 35 disease processes that affect your body when you're obese or when you're overweight. So we need to stop and think about making better choices. If there's any one thing you do today, when you go to the grocery store today, make better choices. Buy foods that will give you vitality and energy, nutrients, and so forth to help you build the overall health that you should have, to build your immune system. Take the offensive. You got to take the initiative today to do the right things. When we look at this, fruits, veggies, we look at proteins, we look at quality fats. Guys, there's nothing wrong with good quality fats, and we need fats, and they're healthy for us. So you want to make those choices. I, especially and more so as supplementation, is the essential fats, EPA, DHA. Those are your omega-3s. We need those. Those are important for your immune system. They're important for your overall health. They're important for the vitality of every cell in your body. So if you can't get those, a lot of times you get that from wild salmon, even walnuts and that type of thing. So there's some food sources, but I recommend definitely supplement with the omega-3s, even for your kids. Pick up a bottle of omega-3s and supplement with some omega-3s. And Nordic Naturals is a great company. They've made a lot of good products for kids to be able to consume omega-3s that are more tasteful. So keep in mind, just as far as a quality diet, and that to me is a foundation to be on the offensive. Something I did 30 days ago when my wife asked me one day, what should I get when I go to the grocery store? And the first thing I told her, I said, you know what, get some seeds. We need to plant a garden. And since then, we have gotten the seeds, we put a box together, we put the soil in, we got the garden planted, and really kind of a neat thing that we've been wanting to do with our kids over the past few years, just haven't done it, gotten too busy, but we've been able to slow down and plant a garden. And so everything is starting to come up. Everything has come up just within the last week. It's kind of neat to even watch teenagers look and see what's happening with the garden coming up and with the expectations of food. And the one small area that we planted, I know can feed us tremendously here over the next several weeks once things mature. So those are things as a foundation that we need to take in consideration. And today I want to talk about kids and immunity. And a couple of things I think are vitally important, not always that we might use some form of a supplement like echinacea or maybe a colostrum-based product for immunity. I think those are important, and we use them in our family and we use them in our office. But I'll tell you two things that we really want to focus on. Number one being probiotics. You guys have heard this. This is on TV. It is repetitively. It's amazing over the last 5 years that probiotics have been pushed as hard as they have been. And folks, there's a lot of different companies. There's a lot of great companies. There's a variation of prices out there. do a little bit of homework, review. But probiotics would be something I would definitely suggest to help your children build a stronger, healthier microbiome, the gut flora, to help your body as far as digesting and assimilating all these great foods that we should be consuming in the first place. So very important probiotics are relative to the nervous system, the immune system, and your overall health and well-being. So something to keep in mind. Secondly, digestive enzymes. Understand that foods that are like this, these whole foods, have their own enzymes. But we are eating so many processed foods that deplete our body of our enzymes. So it's important that to eat less of the processed foods and eat more of the whole foods. The whole foods have the digestive enzymes, but we still recommend a digestive enzyme that helps you break down the proteins, the fats, and the carbohydrates. Better assimilation, which just allows your body to stay healthier. You're going to get more out of that orange or out of that apple to help break it down and get the nutrients out of it. If it's a processed product, good luck, because you don't have the level of health in processed products as you do in whole foods. So make those choices. I'm not saying that you're not going to eat some processed foods. Make better choices on those foods, or eat them less, or maybe spread them out so you're not eating so many of them on a day-to-day basis. They definitely affect our overall health and our well-being, so make good choices on the whole foods. And these are things you can do today. I know that we've got this lockdown and we can go to the grocery store, but make a list of what you would like to prepare and look at the foods that you want to put on that list so that you don't get to the grocery store and that you start putting things in your cart that are not going to give you vitality and give you the vitamins and minerals and the enzymes, the foods that you need to build a stronger, healthier body. I mean, we're in a battle here. We're in a fight for health. And if we don't start taking that initiative and understand my comment about the fact that we're dealing with a company or a country that has an epidemic of obesity. We're talking about in the next 10 years, the progression of obesity is horrendous when it comes to the fact that 1 out of 2 people will be obese, and that's with a BMI of 30 or more, and 1 out of 4 will have a BMI of 35 or more. Folks, obesity has 35 different disease processes affiliated with it. If you are obese, you are definitely more prone to having a weaker immune system and having maybe the effect of the virus. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just telling you, look at where you're at right now and what is it you need to do. I reviewed this morning the New England Journal of Medicine, if you want to look it up, 2019. This was December of 2019. They had this Harvard research that talked about the progression of obesity over the next 10 years, that by 2030, the number of people that we're looking at being obese is 1 out of 2. At a BMI of 30, I'm not just saying overweight, I'm talking about a BMI of 30 or greater, and at 35 or more is 1 out of 4 people. That is tremendous. If you don't start making some changes, I'm telling you, it's not just going to be the effects of this pandemic, it's the effects of just overall 35 different health conditions that are affected by obesity. So make some choices, make some better choices. With obesity comes along the increased likelihood of diabetes and prediabetes. We have the increased likelihood of heart disease. You know, heart disease kills more people than any other disease out there, but understand that obesity is the storm and where it starts. When we put on 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 pounds. We've had patients coming in our office this week alone, getting on the Good Life weight loss plan because they said, I'm sitting at home and I've put weight on and I need to do something now. So we've had patients literally in, and I know it's stressful and it's a difficult time, but we've got patients that are really focused on making some changes in their health. So I'm excited to see them. I'm cautious with them as I talk to them, but without a doubt, I'm excited to see that folks are stopping and taking a look at what they need to do to improve their overall health. So obesity is a big issue. Diabetes and prediabetes, you can reverse these processes, guys. You can change your diet. And by changing your diet, we help patients every day reverse diabetes, improve those numbers, and working with their medical doctor, make sure that patient's on the right track for better health and wellness, especially when they've gotten off track. So just some things to keep in mind there. I talked to you a little bit about planting a garden. If you haven't planted one, hey, go get some seeds. Pick some seeds up. You can go get a few boards. We got 3 boards. We cut 1 in half. We made a small box. We put a bottom to it there. We put the garden soil in there. And in a matter of, 3 days, I think 3 days, we had it built and had seeds in the ground. And a week later, in 10 days, we've got a garden going. So it's simple. Do it with your kids. It's a great time to do that. You're going to get quality foods. Look on the do-it-yourself on the YouTube. You can find some natural pesticides and things so you can keep the bugs off of them, because this is Florida and they will eat your they'll eat your garden. So instead of putting a lot of other different chemicals on there, try some of the ones that you can find on the YouTube channels there. So fast food, I'm going to tell you, listen, stay out of the fast food line. I know people are going through drive-thrus, and listen, I'm all for supporting the restaurants, but if you do go through fast food, stop and make a better choice. A lot of these are processed foods, and again, that's going to lead to the likelihood of obesity. I'll tell you a story quick. I had a young gentleman that I've been taking care of here the last couple of months. He had been eating fast food every single day. I've known this kid. He was quite the athlete in high school. He put 50 to 60 pounds on, and in the last 2 to 3 months, we helped him take that 60 pounds off. We've got him on supplementations. He himself is amazed at what he's done, and this guy's less than 25 years of age. Don't tell me that we don't have a reality here, that we've got kids walking in my office every day, not in common, at 14 years of age, that are pre-diabetic. The activity level, even in the school system, there's not enough activity, not enough exercise, and then we look at the foods that we're eating, especially the processed foods with all the chemicals and even the toxins and things that are in those foods. It's vital that we make better choices, and that's why I'm sharing this with you today, hopefully to motivate you to do something about that. Something I like to refer to is a statement that was made by Thomas Edison. You know, he made a statement at one time, I think it goes like this: the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but interests his patient in the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. You know, my point about that is, again, being on offense. What are you doing? Are we going to sit back and be fearful of this virus and all the issues that are out there? And of course, we hear the news and people dying, and I know that's real. But again, that's where we need to be defensive and take all the steps in that the CDC tells us. But secondly, take on the offense. Do more for yourself in regards to your diet. In chiropractic, a lot of patients come because they understand that the human frame, when taken care of, protects the nervous system, which innervates your immune system, which gives you better immunity. Listen, the average patient that gets adjusted over a 5-year period, 200% better immune function than a patient that does not. Those studies have been done, they continue to be done, the research continues to be compiled as far as the benefits of being adjusted. So a lot of patients we're seeing right now are just trying to manage and stay on the offensive and maintain a healthier immune system. Secondly, we go into trying to do things to feed the body and nourish the body in a way that it stays healthy, especially the kids. And when it comes to the kids, I know there's a lot of variations. We carry that liquid product, we carry some other variations of products for kids, but get your kids into a routine. You do not have to necessarily tell them that you're putting the ounce of the kids' supplement in the smoothie. Make them a small smoothie. Put the ounce of the nutrients in there to build that kid's overall health and well-being and build their immune system as a respect to that. So, Thomas Edison, I think he was brilliant in his day and what he invented and what he did, but what an insight, and that comment has been around for years. Our program, the Good Life Weight Loss Program, we right now we know in season, we're getting ready to see the watermelon season take off. That's something you're going to see fresh from Florida watermelons in the grocery store here within the next week or 2 or 3. Pick up some watermelons, eat the watermelon, look up and see the nutrition that watermelon supplies. I love watermelon. I try to eat it 3-4 times a week during season, but I'm telling you, there's so many healthy benefits. Use that. Blueberries, I see a lot of blueberries on the shelves. I know we're probably on the tail end of this, fresh from Florida. The strawberries, I've had more great strawberries this year, I think, than I've had in a long time, just as far as the sweetness and the flavor of them. So Fresh from Florida, we have teamed up with those guys as an educator and really promoting Fresh from Florida in regards to fruits and veggies and so forth. So support Florida. I know that most people in the state of Florida would prefer to eat fruits and veggies grown right here in the state. I'm going to go over a few things here, my top 5 recommendations that I'm going to tell you just that are suggestions that you can use, and take them for what you will. I'm not telling you have to go out today and buy these 5 products and start taking them. I just want you to think about what the benefits are. And listen, we see a lot of patients come in with their vitamin D levels, and most of them are below 50, most below 40, and we see a lot of them below 30. When you look at the research and it talks about optimal levels of vitamin D, and go online and look and read about vitamin D and the benefits to the immune system. It is amazing if you've got the proper levels of vitamin D, how much better your immune system is going to work than a patient that does not have a proper level, that's down below 30 or even down below 40. I recommend vitamin D levels should be somewhere between 60 and 80. If you haven't had them measured, get them measured the next time you have blood work done to see what your level is so you can begin to direct yourself and making sure that you get enough vitamin D. And it's not just through the sunshine. The studies show in the state of Florida, we're the sunshine state, fresh from Florida. I mean, what better than great sunshine? The bottom line is you're not going to get enough of it. We put so many clothes on, we wear on a day-to-day basis, and still the majority of patients that we test through blood work have low levels of vitamin D. So I recommend that we supplement. We use a water-based and a fat-based supplement of vitamin D3, and I recommend it every single day. It can really make a big change in your overall health and immunity. Zinc is something that many of you are familiar with. You can supplement with zinc. Usually for children, you're looking at probably 25 to 30 milligrams per day to help make sure their immune system is strong, that they have a better immune system to fight off respiratory infections, especially. I know everybody's concerned about the coughs and those type of things. So if you're going to go on offense and look and go, hey, I'm going to do the right things by eating a quality diet, making sure we're getting good foods in. But if I were going to supplement, I would look at something like the vitamin D3, the zinc you can add, and also vitamin C, which is, hey, Shelly Dawes, I see you're out there watching us there. Appreciate it. Hope you're learning some things here today. The vitamin C, you can add vitamin C. Take the vitamin C on a daily basis, guys. Vitamin C is something that I look at and go, we do not make, but we need it. And it's so vital for so many functions in the body, your joints, your heart, your vascular health. All of those are important as far as vitamin C goes. And we get that from the OJ, and definitely I recommend you drink the OJ, but at the same time make sure that you add some other foods with it so you slow it down and the impact on the blood sugar in your body. But vitamin C is awesome. It decreases, when you look at the research, it decreases colds, it decreases the effects of the common cold. And as far as daily recommendations, about 250 to 500. Some patients take more. I take about 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. We are also in the process with our practice that we're looking to integrate our practice here in the next probably 30 to 45 days. What that means is we'll have a medical practitioner that will be within the office. And so the combination of those things will also give us the ability to start doing IV vitamin C. And you may have heard that on the news. I think China, New York City, you have these facilities that are now treating these patients with COVID-19 with IV vitamin C. And our reason for putting that in was not so much because of this whole issue with the COVID-19. It's just the healthy benefits that IV vitamin C can provide to so many patients with different disease processes. So that's something we're going to have we'll have probably somewhere between 25 and 30 different IV recipes for patients based on their health issues. And we'll be talking more about that here in the next 3-4 weeks as we look to integrate our practice. So some exciting things coming for us to be able to provide better health care to our community, and again, in a very offensive manner. Even if you have healthcare issues, we can look at doing some IV nutrition that will be able to get into the system immediately and have changes that are so much quicker than if you're depending on something that is orally. So something there. The last two, and then we're going to wrap it up. Elderberry, that is something that a lot of patients, I've heard a lot of talk about. I've heard patients walk in, they've asked me about it. There's a lot of research on it there, and it talks about it being an antibacterial and an antiviral product, something that if you have a flu symptoms or that type of thing, especially, usually patients will take a tablespoon 3 or 4 times a day. Some patients will even do up to 5 times a day. Can really benefit flu symptoms and calm those down. You can look on the internet and read about elderberry and take the time to look at these elements and see what you can find in regards to the benefits of them. I know I've practiced for over 25 years, and we've used a lot of these products with patients with some really good success. So definitely good options. The last one is something that people are not a lot of times familiar with, and that's medicinal mushrooms. And medicinal mushrooms supply beta-glucan. And beta-glucan, if you go online, you will see everything from beta-glucan being used for patients with cancer, with different disease processes. But medicinal mushrooms are something that you can take as a supplement on a daily basis. And to me, at a time like this, with a pandemic out there, to be on the offensive, not that I'm going to take 10 or 12 or 15 different things, but if I isolate a few things down, I think some of the things I've talked about, the vitamin D, the vitamin C, those are fundamental. You might get those in your multivitamin. When you add maybe elderberry, if you have flu symptoms, or some patients will just take 1 tablespoon a day just as a preventive measure. But the medicinal mushrooms are something that supply beta-glucans. The names of these are really kind of unique. Lion's mane, maitake, shiitake, reishi, turkey tail, cordyceps. They all increase the NK cells and the macrophages in the body. They give the body a better chance, a better defensive level. So whatever you come into contact with, whether it be COVID-19, whether it be the flu symptoms, whatever it may be that you come in contact with, you've got an immune system that's stronger. This is something you can purchase as a supplement. We've got a couple different companies that we use. I'm getting ready to put a new one in the office there that we'll have available that allows a patient just to supplement on a daily basis to help build the immune system and stay strong on the offensive. We also carry a product that's a colostrum-based product. This product is called Immuno-G PRP. We've had a lot of patients this winter. We started using this product back in October, November. I know for myself, my staff, a lot of my patients have used this product with great success. And I say great success, they've had coughs, they've had flu symptoms, they've had different health issues that we put them on immediately. I'll tell you, the recovery time is hands down cuts in half of anything we've used in the past. These are capsules. We also have some of the product that's actually a chewable, and this is also a product that is I like, and we're starting to use this at home, where you can take a scoop of powder and put it in your smoothie, and the amount or the content of IgG is so much greater even in the powder form. So I like this because you can put it right in the smoothie like I produced a while ago, and you put it in the smoothie, you'll never even know it's there, but you have got a power-packed smoothie with vitamins, minerals, and a lot of different components there to help, especially IgG, as it helps build the immune system there. So I think I've covered a lot of the things over this session here. One other thing I know a lot of patients ask me about is echinacea. And echinacea, again, has been around for years in regards to being an immune booster. And a lot of parents like that type of product for their kids. Again, I think those all can be good. I think echinacea has a great background. It's got great research as far as the benefits of what you can do to help your kids. And again, fundamentally, good quality diet. Something I didn't mention, and that is water. Cut back the sodas, drink more water. You may be telling me they don't like water. They'll like water if you'll just persistently do some things, not only good quality water, but is maybe put a piece of lime or lemon in it, put a slice of orange in there, squeeze it in there a little bit. Increase their likelihood. The more water that a kid drinks, the better they get with drinking it. If you let them drink the sodas and they're drinking the sugary diet products there and that kind of thing, you're gonna have all kinds of issues, not only just general health, the dental caries, things like that are increased. And I do want to make this one last comment in regards to something I see and have heard even in my practice. Number one, diet soda absolutely is a misnomer when it comes down to what it might do to benefit your health. There's nothing healthy about a diet soda. I'm not going to name any names, but the bottom line is just a bad habit. And not only that, I see parents sometimes begin to let kids drink a diet soda. The artificial sweeteners that are in diet sodas are absolutely detrimental to good health. I would not recommend them. I don't recommend them. I'm reading some recent research, and I can get the references on it, that tells you one diet soda a day increases the likelihood of Alzheimer's by 300%. That to me is shocking. I'm going to find out a little bit more about that information. I can provide that maybe next week in our show next week. But if you're a diet soda drinker, I'm telling you, if there's one thing you take away from today, yes, I think a good quality diet and drinking plenty of water. If anything, start reducing your diet soda and make it a goal to get off of it. That alone can improve your health tremendously. So make the necessary changes, go on the offense. If there's anything we can do for you, we have been here over 25 years. I'm here and available. My staff is available. We'll be open next week. Our office hours have been somewhat modified. So next week, our office will be open 9 to 4 daily, Monday through Thursday. If you need something, don't hesitate to give our office a call. We're here for you. Today, my goal is just trying to help our community maybe do a few things and be a little bit more proactive, be a little bit more offensive on taking care of yourself. Build health, build immunity, stay strong. God bless all of you guys and the best to you. Have a great day.